Hello everyone, welcome to our latest house renovation. If you want to find out the numbers and how much we made on this house, then stick around to the end because I'm going to go through it all. Come on in. So, works has started already, as you'll be able to see, but everything here is going back to brick, getting reboarded, replastered. The first room, this is going to be a utility room. So, slash downstairs toilet. So we're going to have a stud wall here, downstairs toilet, basin, and then it's going to be a utility room, so washer, dryer, and then you've got your back door there that you can walk out of, hang your washing up. Originally, what we were thinking was to knock through here into the kitchen and have a door and have a utility, but because it's an investment property and we're trying to maximise value, we thought adding a downstairs toilet, it's not really going to cost us much and it's going to add much more value to the actual property. So that's what we decided to do. Then we go into the lounge. So into the lounge, and it's a very big space. And here we're going to have a media wall with storage, and it's just going to be kept like for like. Obviously we're going to go back to brick and make it nice and fresh. And then we've got to figure out how we're going to work it with furniture, etc. because it's such a big space to fill, but that's a positive. And then into the kitchen. So originally what we were thinking was to knock this wall through and have like a big open plan lounge diner. However, when we looked at the costs and what it was going to take in terms of man hours, because this is a low bearing wall, it was just going to add a lot onto our budget, and we decided to basically keep the kitchen like for like and keep it separate. So the units have gone from here, but the units, they used to span all the way across there. That's what's going to happen. The big difference that we have to make to this kitchen is the roof. And the reason for that is, right now, under building regs, this cannot be classed as a kitchen because it's classed as a conservatory, which I didn't know this before, but you're not allowed to have a kitchen in your conservatory. So what we have to do is we're going to have to make this a flat roof with a skylight so we can still keep a bit of light. And once we've done that, like, we're allowed to have this classed as a kitchen, pass it through building control. And so really that's the major change in here. We had an island here, a big island, and again, we don't know whether to put the island back in or whether to just have a dining room table. We're still unsure on that. I'm up for suggestions. What would you do at home? Would you have an island, or would you just have like a big kitchen table? And yeah, that's the two options. So you tell me what you think will be better. Let's go upstairs. So, as you can see, a lot more work has been done up here. This is where the work's begun. Everything's gone back to brick, and it's been boarded, and joinery has started as well. So, in the bathroom, not much has changed. We had a bath here, which we decided we're not going to put a bath back in. We're just going to have a walk-in shower here. And the reason for that is we already have a renter lined up, and we just asked them. They've got kids, they're a family, so it's like the market that we're going for. And we said, would you want a bath? Would you need one? They were like, no, just a walk-in shower, we'd just prefer that. So that's what we've gone for. It's more cost effective for us as well, which is good on the investment side, because we don't have to buy a bath. And then simple toilet, basin there. It's being tiled. I've made sure that the builder knows that we want tile, because when I see like the bathrooms with like the plastic paneling and that, it just looks cheap and tacky. And for me, the cost of putting tiles in over that, it's not that much different, and I think it makes a big difference to the value of the property. I know that I would not want to move in with a bathroom that had plastic paneling. So yeah, and then into the bedrooms. These are just like for like. They're just going to be obviously back to brick, boarded, skinned, and nice and clean. The only major change that we've kind of done to a bedroom up here is we've made this bedroom a little bit bigger, and if you come in, you can kind of see on that brickwork there where the wall used to come up to. So the doorway used to be here, and it was such a small boxy room. Like you could barely fit somebody in here. You could fit a single bed and some wardrobes, but it was going to be very cramped. So what we've decided to do is take a little bit of space off of the landing, cut the banister back, and then we've opened this space up here to be a fitted wardrobe. So here we're going to have our fitted wardrobe, and all that means then is that you're going to have your bed, and then you're going to have a little bit of space as well. So it's just turned it into a comfortable single room instead of it being a cramped single room. So we're very happy with how that's turned out. And then the other kind of the bonus that we got with this house is a room up there, like a fully functioning room in the loft. So there's a skylight, there's radiators, there is electrics, and the people that used to live here a few years ago now, someone was living up there. In fact, in like the eaves, the builder last week told us the amount of rubbish that was left in there, and it was bags and bags of rubbish and nasty stuff. So we won't go into that, but the point is people were living up there, and it is a fully functioning room. So we're gonna skim that, make it neat, make it fresh. The only issue is that it's not going to be classed as a room by building control. So it's going to be a fully functioning room, but when we come to sell it, or when you come to rent it, you couldn't advertise that as a room because it won't pass through building control. So that is, I suppose, the only issue with that. But the other option would be to lose it, which would have been insane. So we're keeping it, and obviously when people move in or when they come and look around the property, they can see it's a fully functioning room and they can use their own initiative. So the numbers on this one are really good. Considering that we bought it with a bridge and the amount of fees that we've had to pay, we've made a significant profit. So we bought it for £131,000. Fees, and this is bridging fees, survey fees, which we had a lot. We had a damp survey, we had 2 times structural surveys, 2 times valuations. We had to have a bamboo survey because we have bamboo at the front. With legal fees, all of the fees all in all came to £10,000, there or thereabouts. So we're at 141,000. The build has cost us a flat 40,000 that we've agreed with the builder. He's taken on everything. So that brings us to £181,000. We had 2 valuations on this to say, like, once this is done to a certain standard, brand new, like for like, one of them came back at 235,000 and one of them came back at 250,000. So if we split the difference, let's say 240,000, which is quite conservative, then you can see that we've made £59,000 on this house. So we are more than happy with those numbers. Deals like that, I'll be honest with you, they're not easy to find. And to make that amount of money with the bridging finance fees and all that, I'm kind of over the moon with it. So this property was bought off market. It was an estate agent that came to us and a bunch of other investors in the area. For whatever reason, the vendor didn't want to put it on the market, and we secured it at that price. So with the bridging, would I use bridging again? I would use bridging again. However, it comes with unnecessary costs in my eyes, and it's expensive. You know, they're charging you around 1% every month. So instead, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and move into getting people to invest with us into our deals, and that way we save some money. It means that we can give high interest rates to investors, and that way, realistically, everybody wins. So if you are somebody that's sat there with money and you want to invest into property and you want to earn high interest rates with us, what you get with that as well is you can come round and you can see how this process works, from buying the property to the refurb to the end goal of refinancing it or selling it. You can just see how the process works. If it's something that you wanted to get into, it's a great way to earn and learn. So if you are at home and you've got at least £25,000, because that realistically will be the minimum that we would take on. If you sat there and you want to earn high interest rates, come and learn how this works, then drop us a message on Instagram and we can potentially have a talk and figure out how that would work. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching the video, and we will see you in the next one.